I've been out of this world for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and they've been doing a wonderful job here taking care of my wife. Uh, she seems to be happy, and now that I'm able to talk to her and everything, she's more concerned about me, but she doesn't know she hasn't got a concept of what being sick is. In other words, when I say to her, I'm sick or I was sick, well, what's the matter with you? And I'll tell her, and she'll say, well, can't we do something about it? And then 2 minutes later she'll say, what? Why are you wearing that? I mean, she doesn't remember from once, and it's a constant. Are you okay? But I'm very happy that she's happy. In other words, they've been doing a nice job here taking care of her, and now that I'm able to sit and talk to her, for instance, when we sit down to eat, I'll say to her, "What would you like?" She'll say, "Anything you want to give me, I'll eat." In other words, as long as I say to her it's okay, she'll eat it. And she's been very, very nice about it. I analyze this thing. I think that what has happened now is that she's acting like a girl who's about 13 or 14 years of age. In other words, this is what seems to have happened to her. And I try to talk to her and reason with her on that level, so that we have some sort of an understanding. And the only thing I can say to you right now is that she seems to be in fairly good shape, and I think that if I wasn't here, I would have a real big problem. And they've done a wonderful job here for me. So she keeps telling me I'm happy. I ask her. I said, "Do you like it here?" And she'll say, "Oh, I like it. It's very nice here." Now, we do have a little problems. If some woman looks at her cross-eyed, she doesn't like that. In other words, she'll make a comment about it, but she likes people to be friendly and happy, and if they're not, she gets mad. But that's the smallest part of it. I don't really mind that. Really, that's all I can tell you right now. I've been out of it for such a long time. I've been out of it for about 5 weeks, and I'm just now getting back into the swing of things. So offhand, I'd say that things are going along very nicely for me right now.
Excellent. Would you mind just reliving, if you want to call it that,
you see,
this sense of responsibility and attachment that you had?
See, she's, as long as she's happy, and if they take her and say, "Here, why don't we do this?" she'll do it, and she's happy about it, and that's really the only thing I'm concerned about. As long as she is in a good mood and not making a fuss. There are times when she doesn't. She has good days and bad days,
Sure.
And when she has a bad day, she's mad at everybody. She's mad at me. She's mad at everybody. And when I try to find out what's wrong, I really can't get an answer. And then I'll find something like, "Well, she didn't do this," and I say, "Who's the she?" But she can't tell me. She doesn't know who the she is. So I realize that, but that passes away in about a day's time.
They forget. That's the good part of it.
Yeah.
They forget.
Next minute, it's
She
gone.
comes back to normal again. So all I can say is that things are going along fine now, and they're doing nicely here for her. So,
And what about you?
me, I still have a long way to go, but they tell me that I had such a bad case of that
Shingles.
and unfortunately, not like normal people where it gets you in the back and the arm and thing. This caught me in the head, and this left side of my head was almost like paralyzed, and I went around there. There was one couple of days there that where when I started this thing, I was 164 pounds, and in 2 weeks' time, I was down to about 148. I wasn't eating. I wasn't doing, and so I was quite sick, and the thing that seemed to have bothered me at the beginning was who's going to take care of her. See, I didn't realize that. See, they took over. They started giving her the medicines. They, in other words, and little by little, I realized that she was in good shape. So I didn't have to worry about it. So now I'm back to almost normal, and I'm looking around. I think I'll leave things the way they are. I'm not going to change it,
Well, you look a lot more relaxed and comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, despite the shingles, I think you've reconciled. That she's happy.
Yeah.
I
So
think when we started the conversation this morning, we talked about an event that would trigger placement, and I think with Al, this was the event that triggered some letting go on his part and allowing us to step in and do something for him.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we were able to meet his expectations and that he was happy with the end result, even though he really did go through the mill with the shingles, and it took its toll out on him physically. But I'm glad at least that you can now relax and know that.
Well,
Al,
I'm happy right now that things are going along smoothly, and she doesn't seem to have any complaint. And when I say to her, I'm going to go to a meeting, and you go down, and they'll take care of you, and she goes, and when we come back, she'll say, why did you go to that meeting? I mean, she wants me to tell her about the meeting. And I just say, oh, it's a regular meeting. And I try to pass it off. But her memory is so short that when I tell her something, about a half hour later, it's just as if I never told her anything. So. But
that's the nature of the disease.
May I ask you a question?
So right now, I like to leave things the way they are, because she's having she's doing well, and I'm recuperating, and all in all, she seems to be making strides, But I did notice, I noticed that unfortunately, she was reduced to, her memory and everything was reduced to like a girl of about maybe 13 to 15 years of age.
Or younger. And this is the progression.
This is what seems to have happened.
Earlier over time.
Yeah, and it's very hard to accept, but I'm okay.
Al, when you came here with your wife to assisted living,
Yes.
and what was the stimulus for the two of you to come to assisted living?
Well, she wasn't, and I realized that I had to do it because she was getting worse, and I was afraid that I didn't know what that. I went to her neurologist, and I asked him if it would be a good idea to go to assisted living. He said yes, it probably would help you tremendously, and I came here with her because I needed assistance too, but not in that manner. I had 2 operations on my leg, 2 bypasses on my legs, and I was sort of incapacitated for a while. And I came here with us so that, first of all, she didn't want to come alone. And I felt, but since I needed help also, we decided, let's go together. And it's working out. There were a time here when I needed them here that I couldn't have done it on my own. So the assisted living came because I became scared when I saw her getting worse, and I did not know that I'd be able to handle it. And I didn't want to take any chances. So we looked around and we looked around. I have to tell you this, that this place here has one of the finest medical things that you can help for. They have nurses here that are fantastic. I can't believe the interest that they take and what they're doing. And I made the right choice by coming here. See, that we were looking and looking and looking. We must have looked at about 15, 20 places. And basically what I was always looking for is what kind of medical department do they have? And when we came here, well, they did what this is the place I was looking for. So they're very good here. And that's about all I could say right now.
Yeah.